So yeah, so this is Dad's fiddle, 1895 Frenchie.
Wow.
And you can see that it was split a lot, the front, because he
Yes.
stored it in the attic
Yeah.
for 20 years when he was busy
Yeah.
having kids and starting the car dealerships. And he was quite disappointed when he pulled it out 20 years later and took it to Heinel on him and my mom's way down to New York. And he stopped at Heinel and he had it assessed. And George Heinel at the time said, "Beautiful fiddle, too bad about the front."
Yeah.
And said it pretty well pooched the value of the fiddle, unfortunately, and also the sound. So the sound is good. It's sweet. I'll show you. Ooh, needs to be tuned up though. I don't use this one often. Well, I'm using it more and more, but this is my bar fiddle. There we go.
While you're tuning this up, I got my fiddle has a kind of unusual back. It's kind of, you can see it here.
Oh, yeah.
That's a slab cut
Wow.
back.
Yeah, it's nice.
Very good.
Different.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Saw that recently. I was helping a student buy a fiddle, and there was a brand, quite a well-known violin making house in Germany, and they only do slab cutbacks.
That's what this is a German fiddle. So
Oh, it is. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and I really like the look of it. It's neat. It's just the way they cut the wood. So
yeah,
for the back of a fiddle, they usually use quarter sawn wood, which means wedges of wood. Looks like firewood, and that means the grain goes down like this. See that? And same with the back. But with the slab sawn, they cut it the other way, and so it's sort of like your hardwood floor where you see the outlines of the grains like that. It's kind of neat. It's a different way of doing it. But anyway, so here's Dad's 1895. Oh, wait. Hold on
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's real quiet.
There we go. So I'll just show you with this too. So it's very sweet.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
That is nice.
Very nice.
It's got a good bridge. But then if you compare it to my German every day, you see that? You see the difference there? Huge difference. You can't deny it. So
Yep.
Dad got a pickup back in the 90s when everybody, including Ashley and Natalie, were getting pickups, these LR bags, built-in pickups. See that? It's
Oh,
built
yeah.
into the bridge.
Yeah.
A little
Wow.
wire there.
Yeah. I've got one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's actually a really nice bridge this time around. And so I use this for bars. So because I'm like a hired gun in Toronto, I play with 4 or 5 singers, and so when I get downtown and there's a bass player or a drummer, this thing is great. I can plug it into a little preamp that I have and make the sound exactly the way I want and loud enough. You know what I mean? I also use this fiddle for tuning up to play with the bagpipes. Because when I play with the what they call the Great Highland Bagpipes, the GHB, they're in B flat. So when I play my A string, when they go to play their equivalent of an A string, it's a B flat. Even though all their music is written in A. So I take this fiddle and I tune it up. I tune each string up a half step, so that when I play my A string, open A string, it's a B flat, just like the
Oh.
pipes. And that means that I can just play as if I was in A, and it'll come out the same as the pipes. Also, this particular fiddle has a great sound when it's tuned up a half step. It starts to actually speak louder. So it's kind of suited towards it. Where this one doesn't love it. This one hates to be changed. It's, this one is more of a better setup. With Dad's fiddle has a few problems. The neck is crooked. It's kind of, you see how drastic the curve on the bridge is there?
Oh, yeah.
Very drastic because the neck is crooked and stuff like that. So whereas the German, I always hold up the German as a kind of a perfect setup. Do you see the curve on that bridge there? It's like
yeah.
exactly what it should be. The pegs are exactly as they should be, sticking out and all that kind of. The nut is perfect. This is a perfectly set up violin. And Dad's fiddle is kind of it hedges a few bets here and there. It runs between the drops, as my dad would say. Anyway, that's the fiddle talk. Now, what was the tune we were working on last time?
We're working.
Well,
Lark in the
go
morning.
ahead.
No,
Go
we're
ahead, I'm
working
sorry.
on, shit, hold it.
And
That was Lark in the morning.
Was it Pipe on the Hob?
No, we're working. Hold it. We're working on. Oh shit! Come on.
Spanish misfortune.
Spanish misfortune.
Oh, Banish Misfortune. That's right. Great tune. Absolutely.
Okay,
I
Dan,
couldn't remember the fucking name.
Dan,
Yes, David?
have you guys had a class since December the 4th?
We had one.
Oh, okay, because that's the only one I could find a video for. And
Yeah.
so that's why I've got Pipe on the Hob and Drunken Landlady, because that's what you
Oh,
were
did I?
working on
Maybe I
with
didn't
that
put
one.
up the last one. But
Mhm.
anyway, it was Banish Misfortune, which is a great tune and a very well-known tune. And I'll just send it to you here, David.
Okay.
So I found a decent version online.
Just curious, Dan. Where's everybody from? On this.
On the screen here? Let's see.
I'm from Bellwood, just outside of Fergus.
Oh, okay. I'm from Leamington down by Windsor.
Okay.
Toronto.
Toronto. Okay.
Okay.
Same here, Toronto.
And Sandy.
Toronto for the moment, but shortly from Welland.
Well,
All right, you're moving to Welland.
Yes, yes.
That's
why
kind of
Welland?
neat.
Mhm.
I sold my old furnace to a family from Welland who was opening an orchard. It was a hazelnut orchard, which is kind of
Oh.
cool.
Hmm.
And I sold them my old furnace, which was a what do you call it? An oil furnace. I was like the only guy in Toronto with an oil furnace and a 600-liter oil tank in my basement. When I
Wow.
moved
I
in.
still have one. If you're rural, you're going to have that. Because
Oh,
there's no
Yeah.
natural gas out here and stuff like that. Right?
oh, it
Or
was
if you-
just a pain.
Or if you've lived in Northern Ontario, you might have that too.
Exactly.
So.
Oh yeah. Now in Nova Scotia, it was a common thing, and that's why I didn't really mind when we moved in. But it was a total pain. It was a brand new furnace. It never worked. Every winter, I had to get the guy to come and rebuild it to turn it on again. And it cost me about $400 a month to heat our little 2-bedroom bungalow. I
Whoa.
hated it. I was so happy to see it go. And I told the demo guys, the Jamaican guys, I said, you guys can have it. Take it to the recyclers, get all the money for it, man. Go ahead. You guys did a great job. It's yours. And they were very happy. And then when I came back after they were done, it was at the bottom of the stairs on its side. It looked like it had rolled over about 4 times. So they must have tried to get it up the stairs and just abandoned it. So I ended up selling it. This family called and they came and they didn't care that it was all busted up. I practically gave it to them, but they needed it for a barn for their hazelnut orchard, which was pretty neat. So
Actually, I lived in Halifax for 15 years, so I know the place pretty well. So, but a
Oh,
quick story about a Cape Bretoner. We hired a Cape Breton bass player to play in our little band we had, and he didn't have any gear because he left his gear home. So we got him some gear, got him a bass and the amp and shit. He played all night and apologized for his playing because he's left-handed. He was playing upside down all night.
Oh, wow.
That's how good he was. He was from Cheticamp.
oh, those guys are really talented in Shettycam, man, the French guys. And I'll tell you, they play Scottish music, but they play it in the strangest way. I mean, it's not straight, like not strange, but I love it myself. It's this French aspect, but to the Scottish. But they're playing strathspeys and marches, and it's just got this different sound. And I'm a big fan, always have been.
They're pretty talented. You're right.
Great part of the world. Okay, so since we're doing Banish Misfortune, that's basically in D, the key of D. So let's start off with a nice D major scale. When I do D major scales on the fiddle, I'm just going to mute everybody there, guys. Nothing against you. It's just the way Zoom works. Anyway, the way that I do the D major, since you can only D major is only available in one octave on the fiddle without shifting. It's the first scale where they make you shift. Okay, you do G. I remember it very well. A. Right, B flat. You can even do C. Little stretch of the pinky there, which we will get into. Very, very good skill. You know, I always tell everybody, everybody complains about their high B, if you work on your high C, you'll never complain about your high B again. But then, if you want to do D in 2 octaves, you gotta shift, and this is what it looks like. And I remember the experience very well. You shift on the A string so that you get practice playing in 3rd position on both A and E strings there, because usually that's what you got to do. See that? And then you shift back down. And basically 3rd position is where your 1st finger takes the position of your 3rd finger. See that? And then there's 6th position, Sean McGuire territory, what my friend Kim used to call the dusty end of the fingerboard. But I do go up there once in a while. So anyway, so that's D major in 2 octaves, but we won't bother with that. What we'll do is we'll practice D major in 1.5 octaves so that we practice it all over the fiddle, because the notes on the G string in the key of D sometimes take people by surprise. C is sharp, so you have to stretch that 3rd finger on the G string to get C sharp. See that? And the B, you got to make sure the B is in the right place as a result of that. So it's good to practice it. Let's give it a try. So we're going to start on D, on the D string. We're going to go all the way up to high A, okay, and all the way down to low A. Okay, because when you do partial scales, it's always good to start and stop on an arpeggio note, because it makes more sense to the ear. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Starting on the key on the D string, up to high A, down to low A. Let's give it a try. And don't worry about the consequences. Ready, go. Okay, now how did that work? Did that work out? Did the notes on a G string take you by surprise a little bit? Now, Paul, I notice you're using your 4th finger on the way down. You know, we don't use much of the 4th finger in our music. I'm sure you've noticed that, right? Just because it's a much weaker sound on the fiddle. And although it's warm, that's why the classical guys never play open strings. They always play 4th finger because it's a warmer, much warmer sound. But we're fiddle players. We got to be hammering on that thing. You know what I mean? So now it's good to practice your 4th fingers for sure. I actually find it's really good to do both, because then you really get your 4th fingers in tune on the way down the scale. Because you play open E and then the 4th finger. Then you really lock it in all the way down. So just keep that in mind, okay? Let's do it again. Ready, go. Feel a little more comfortable? Okay, now let's try the arpeggio. The arpeggio starts on the low A, and then it's D, then it's F, then it's A, then it's D, then it's F, then it's A, etc. and so on. Okay, let's give that a try. Starting on low A and then D. Ready, go. Okay, how'd that feel for everybody? Does it work? Let's do it again right away. Here's your low A. Okay, ready, go. And that there is my classic D major double stop when I'm ending a tune in the key of D. Low A and open D together. So it's got a nice final ending sound, that particular double stop. A on the bottom and open D. Okay? Okay, any questions about that D in an octave and a half? Because it's a little bit unusual, a little bit odd. Everybody getting the idea? There's a lot of scales that you can only do in an octave and a half. E major is another one. F is another one. That's a really nice key. And it's good to practice F because it's the same key signature as D minor. And although we don't play a lot of F major music, we do play a lot of D minor. Julia Delaney or Broken Pledge, or there's a whole bunch of them. So F is a beautiful key to practice, and you got to do that in an octave and a half as well. There's a few more. So, okay, cool. Banish Misfortune. We'll start slow. If you want to laugh, I mean, it depends. Sometimes I find that regular my father would call upper Canadians, don't really get this kind of humor. But there's a comedian in Ireland called what's his name? Pat Short. And he has a group, they're called Dunbelievables. So D apostrophe Unbelievables. And they are hilarious. It just cracks me up. And there's one clip about travelers, traveling people in Ireland. They're Roma, they're descended from Roma people, but they're just regular Irish people, except they live in caravans and they travel around a lot. And great musicians, some of the best pipers in the world. Paddy Keenan, the great piper from the Bothy Band, is a traveler. He comes from a family of them. He still lives in an Airstream. But anyway, so this particular clip is about travelers, and it's this BBC reporter, and he's in the caravan with the guys, and they are playing Banish Misfortune on a whistle and a mandolin, and it's out of tune, and it's really loud, and it's really rough, and they keep playing it over and over, but they keep saying they're playing a different tune. They're like, okay, now we'll try the Whore among the Nettles Roaring. But it's just still Banish Misfortune. Or they say, okay, now we'll try, this is a great one, the Mangled Badger, but it's still just Banish Misfortune, like over and over and over, and badly too. So I do recommend it. Okay, let's see, how fast can we go? Possible? You gonna try it, David? Or you gotta unmute?
Oh, there we go. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't got the music, so
Oh, I just emailed it to you.
you emailed it to me. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Isn't that incredible?
Uh,
Oh, here, look, I can share my screen as well. As I'm looking at it. And I'll make it big. Have you ever played this tune before?
Oh, probably.
It's a very popular one, I'm sure you have.
Yeah, probably. Looks familiar.
Okay, well, let's give it a go. We'll just go nice
Looks
and
like
slow.
Pipe on the Hob in a few spots. Yeah.
Yep. And you know what? We should put it with Pipe on the Hob. They'd go great together. They're both multi-parter tunes. Anyway, we'll go very,
Okay.
very slow, and we'll just kind of see what we can pick up here. I'm just going to mute
Okay.
David. There we go. So let's go somewhere around like this. I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3. Again. One more. Okay, now everybody looked like they were going along just fine there. How does everybody feel? Is it okay? How are you, David? Did it come back to you?
Yeah, okay. Did it come back to me? Yeah, parts of it came back to me, but even though you've made it big on my screen, it's still kind of hard for me to see because my screen is small, eh? It's just a little
Yes.
little tablet kind of thing. So yeah, I can see it a little better now. That's good.
You should see what I got here. I have because I do so much Zoom teaching. I have like a 40-inch flat screen TV as my monitor. My brother-in-law gave it to me when the pandemic first struck because he got a new TV. Because
Oh, yeah.
he's got detached retinas. His vision keeps deteriorating as he gets older. He's had contacts implanted into his eyes, and that extended it. But his computer monitor is a wall-size TV. So he gave me this one, and it works out well because I can see everybody really nice and big while I'm teaching. You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
And Susan,
Well,
there, she likes the senior-size music. Isn't that right, Susan?
Yeah, well, that's a little better now. The way you've got it now, I can see a little bit
Keep
better
making
now.
it bigger.
Yeah. But I'm glad it's coming back. The endings are all the same. That's a nice thing. It's a little bit of a bonus there. So the last two bars of every part is the same. And it's basically just a theme. The first theme is falling down the stairs. See that? And then the second theme is just, I would do rolls, right? That's kind of what that's all about, that part. And then in the third part, it's just these kind of a slower fall down the stairs. It goes right down to the bottom of the stairs. See that? Anyway, let's. How about everybody else? So, what about Paul? How are you doing with this, Paul? This is a new tune for you.
Yeah, I feel like I'm rushing ahead. I'm just trying to tap my foot, but I really need to be listening. It's like hard to. It's easy for me to get carried away, and then I end up like not
Ahead.
with everyone else. Either speeding up or usually it's speeding up. It's usually not slowing down. So
Yeah, speeding up is the main cause of that. And it's not speeding up. You know what it is? I discovered it with my orchestra. It's cutting off the long notes, not holding them for their full length. Now, a tune like this with all these quarter notes, notorious. Like people play the last part of that tune and they just kind of like running down the hill, right? And it's just those long notes. Now, I always do it with the real estate on the bow. Make sure you give all your quarter notes the same amount of real estate on the bow, and you will lessen your chances of doing that. Okay? Now, we don't really have any dotted quarter notes in this tune except for the last note of each part. And you could be cutting that one off too. Dotted quarter notes are notorious for getting cut off. The problem, I think, is that it's twofold. The first thing is that people are nervous about being out of tune and making a bad sound, so they stop their bow. And they do what I call stopping and waiting. And nobody ever waits long enough. It's a hard wait. It's too long of a wait, right? So you got to try to make the sound the entire time. The other thing is that because all the other notes are short, you tend to play it short and wait again. So kind of like this. See that? And it's, I don't know what it is. It's especially with classical people, I find that's very, very prominent. And so just lengthen that bow. Try to keep it moving for the entire time. No brakes. No brake pedal. Only gas. How about you, Rick? How'd you get along?
I'm fine. I know the two pretty well. I don't know how to describe this. Okay, let's use Kevin Burke as an example. If I listen to Kevin play, he has a pulse.
Yeah.
Am I describing that correctly?
Oh, yeah.
There's something like in this one, it's like should be da 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 da. I'm somehow missing that pulse to the tune.
Okay, and this is what we're talking about. Rick brings up a great point. We're talking about jig rhythm, right?
Right.
And it is a pulse. It's the pulse for a jig is a little bit easier to cotton on to because it's the downbeat, whereas in reels it's the backbeat. So it goes with your foot. See that? Now watch me. See if everybody can see me here. See how I'm doing that there? The way that you emphasize a note on the violin is to give it more bow or a faster bow. And so basically, I move my arm twice per measure, and my hand does the little unaccented notes. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's a really nice natural motion. See that? Which gives you a really nice natural rhythm and makes people want to dance, because it is a dance. It's very, very similar to a dance. Okay, now that's kind of the basis of the jig rhythm. And then there's slurring. Now Kevin Burke, he does a whole lot of slurring over the bar line. So see that? Over the bar line slurring. So coming from so the 6 of the one measure into the downbeat of the next measure in one bow. Very Irish thing. Very, very Irish thing. Especially Kevin Burke. And then the last part there, you could do slurs. It would really help. See how I do that? And I kind of speed my bow up a little bit. Okay, so those are a few ways, but the main thing is that jig rhythm. Okay, and it doesn't really enter in until we get going a little bit of a tempo, right? That's the thing, because you can't really. It's like dribbling a basketball slow. It's pretty hard to do, you know. So anyway, so that's the jig rhythm, and the best way to kind of work on it is to just try to move that arm like this and listen for that downbeat. Okay, does that answer your question, Rick?
That helps. Thank you.
Good. Anybody else? How about you, Susan? How you getting along? Yeah, that's great. And Sandy, you sound great. Like you're not making one mistake at all.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay, let's try it again. Let's do it the same kind of speed the first time. And then the second and third time, I'm going to push it a little bit. And you guys can try some of these ideas that you were just asking about. Okay? Okay. 1, 2. Oh, wait, I got to mute everybody. Mute. Mute. Good. 1, 2, 3. banish misfortune, otherwise known as the whore in the nettles roaring. There's no actual tune called The Whore in the Nettles Roaring, I checked. It should be. It's a great title. Anyway, how's everybody feeling with that tempo? That was kind of getting up there. And I was trying to do a lot of the bowing, like overdoing it, to give you a good example of some of that Kevin Burke bowing. Like I noticed in the middle part there, you can pretty well slur, and it's great just for practice, but you can pretty well slur in the second part let me see what I do. So see that? You can do the whole part like that, and it really adds to that rhythm. You hearing that? So those are some over the bar, or not over the bar line, but over the emphasis line slurs. Also, when I have to slur two of the same note, so see how I do that? 2 Ds with a grace note between them, so that you can hear the split between them and still slur it. And then here too. That's a Piper move because they can't really stop their sound very easily, so they split up two of the same note with that. And it's a great little move to get. You'll find it coming in handy everywhere. Okay? Any bits and pieces? How about you, Paul? Did you do better with not speeding up?
Yes and no. I feel like that happened less, but the one time it happened, I realized like, oh, I'm way behind now. So
Well, there is that. But you can keep going back over the video. That last one was good because we ramped it up.
right.
So if you keep doing that, should really help. How about you, David? How are you doing? Are you getting more of it? Could you see more of it?
Well, it's gonna come. Okay,
Yeah.
it's gonna come. I'm gonna spend some time on it this week, and you know, I'll get it.
Bring
Don't
it
worry
back.
about it.
Bring
It'll
it
come
back.
back.
On the break.
Yeah.
How about you, Rick? You getting some of that rhythm in there?
I got this is one of my favorite tunes. I've been playing it for years, so but some of your comments are helping me improve it a little bit. Yeah, I know the tune fairly well. So
Oh, that's good. Yeah. How about you, Susan? Good. And you're still nailing it there, Sandy. It's great. Now, Paul, you had a suggest. Oh, look, do you want to try it one more? Let's try it one more time. Just to say we did.
mute myself here.
Yeah.
Oh, you mute everybody. Good. Oh, let me
I'll
mute
mute them all. I'll mute you all. Okay, there we go. Okay, one more try with the banish. Okay, and let's try it just a little bit up. So, 1, 2, 3. looks very happy with themselves. It's great to see. It's just excellent. Now, Paul, you had a suggestion on the email, and I can't remember what it is. What is it again?
Oh yeah, Brennan's Reel.
Brennan's Reel. I gotta look at that. So I think
Yeah.
it's a great tune.
I'm sorry.
I think it's a great tune.
Yeah, it's there's a version of it by Martin Hayes that like I really like, but I mean you'll have to go with just the one I recommended, of course. Like I'm open to learning anything, but yeah, that one
Oh,
really.
no, that sounds like a great idea.
It's
Brendan,
also very repetitive, but it's really cool. It's
Yeah,
it's probably the
repetitive.
easiest.
Repetitive sometimes can mean groovy as hell. I don't really play this tune. This is great too. Oh, a little sneaky there. Oh yeah, we can give that a go. It is pretty repetitive, but like I said, that can sometimes mean it's really, really cool. Now, what a tune. Who wrote this tune, I wonder? Any idea? Is it a newly composed one?
Is it? Hmm.
I'm not sure. I'm going to find out here because it sounds like a newly composed one. And Martin Hayes is very well known for doing newly composed tunes. Brendan's Reel Tune Archive. Tune Archive is like the best resource for getting the origins of tunes. Everett Larson. Who's that when he's at home?
Sorry, is that Brennan's Reel you're looking up?
Brendan's Reel, yeah.
Brennan, I think without the D. I don't know if it makes a difference or not. BRENN.
No, without the D, yeah. Brendan's
okay.
Reel.
Yeah.
Did that sound like the one that you were thinking about?
Yeah, I think that sounded like the one. Yeah.
Oh, because there's another one.
I mean, maybe they sound so similar. Honestly, I don't know.
That does not sound like something. Oh, no, this is a Saskatoon tune. Okay, so no, I'm not seeing really an origin for it. So who knows?
Sean McGuire plays it, if that's the same one.
Sean McGuire plays it? Well, then it could be as old as the hills.
He said he plays it with something called Hinchy's Delight.
Okay. Okay, well, we don't know who wrote it, but that's okay. I'm going to play it again there, Paul. Make sure that this is the right tune. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
That's the tune? Okay, good.
Is
Okay.
that the one you're going off of thesession.org?
Yep.
Hold on, I'm on because I think there's one. I think there's like a version. If you just can bear with me here, because I actually, I had. Oh, I thought I had bookmarked. Yeah.
There's only two settings on the session.org of them.
Oh, well, okay. So under John Brennan's Reel, if it's
Oh.
version number John Brennan's, Is that
John Brennan's.
oh, is that their
Now that's a different story. John Brennan's is it's also called the Silver Spire.
Oh, I like that tune.
Oh, it's a great tune.
Okay.
It's a
That's why
must-have.
those two sound really. I guess they're the same. Okay, I thought they were different, but I guess that makes sense because they're.
So John
Too
Brennan's.
much
Now let me just make sure again.
So John Brennan's, and then I have the fourth one bookmarked on under John Brennan's reel under the session.org.
Number 4.
Number 4, yeah.
Okay, let me see. Is that the one?
Yes, that's the one. Yes,
Okay.
I'm sorry for leading you down the rabbit hole of the other one, but this is definitely the one I was.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I love this tune. This is a very common tune and definitely a must-have. So first of all, I'm going to send it to everybody. I'll make sure this is a good version. Uh, Whoa, that's not a good version. Let's see here.
Sorry. That's yeah, I guess my bookmarks are not.
It's okay. No, listen, it's really
I
hard
do
to
the
tell.
MIDI
It's
players.
not
I don't know. It's the-
Now the next one looks pretty good. That's number 5. I'm just going to try the first one though, because sometimes you get lucky. Little weird. Everybody's getting this tune in their head now.
I mean, they do. It's funny because it's like when you play the you get the gist of the tune is there in all of them, right? It's
Oh yeah,
when
absolutely.
you do the play audio on the session.org, it just sounds like. I mean, it's just not very reliable at all. So
No, I know. It's amazing, really. Now here, number 6 it's looking like it might be the best candidate. I call it the cleanest dirty shirt. That's the cleanest dirty shirt, number 6. I will send it to you all now.
Look it up. No problem.
Yeah, this tune is one of the ones I learned at Dora's or Noonan's on the fly. And it's not a hard one to get on the fly either, because, like you said, it's pretty repetitive. Okay, so we got Paul. And we got Rick.
You know, Paul mentioned that, you know, that song that you mentioned, it was one of the must-haves. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like to learn a bunch of must-haves. I mean, you know, you go into a session and it's okay to know an obscure song, but if nobody else knows it, it's kind of difficult.
It is. No, I mean, I love my obscure tunes, and I will never stop going after them, but I really try to get everybody some of the must-have or all of the must-haves, because you can really only get into the esoteric stuff when you have that stuff under your belt, then, because they lead to other tunes. Like, you know, you learn these little elements and stuff, and then you start to look for more and more complicated. But until you have all this stuff really under your belt, it's limiting. So I love the popular ones myself.
I mean, I was trying to look, the other day trying to play Portfolio of the Kelp, and everybody went, "Huh?"
Yeah, I know. Now, me and my band, we play that tune. Brian plays it on the electric guitar, like quite awesomely. But no, it's one of those. Now, there are some sessions where people don't really care, and they'll do esoteric stuff all night and give you dirty looks when you're not doing it with them. But what can you do about that? Okay, so I'm going to send this to everyone.
So it's number 6 on the session.
Number 6 on session.org. Yeah. Okay. And I can put it on my screen for David. And I can show you how to play it.
While you're doing that, Dan, did you listen? You know that TV show Shetland?
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard lots about it.
You got your buddy who's the piper should listen to the pipe intro to this, the theme to this thing. It's all Irish pipes, right? It's a phenomenal pipe.
Oh, I bet. I wonder who it is. I've been hearing about it and hearing about the music for
I
it.
looked up the guy. I forgot his name. I looked him up, and he's like quite a famous piper. But it's such a mournful sound. It's amazing. You should just get it on Prime or YouTube or whatever, just to listen to the intro. It's unbelievable.
Oh, that's cool. I do find it funny, though, I have to say, that they always use uilleann pipes for Scottish stuff. Do you notice? Like Braveheart. The opening of Braveheart, that's all Irish pipes,
Yeah.
which is hilarious to me. And the same with Shetland there, the same thing. And it's just because the Irish pipes are a lot easier to listen to. They have that mournful sound that you're talking about. They have that. The Highland pipes don't. The uilleann pipes have this voice-like quality to them that's very distinctive and very Celtic, But I have to tell you this one funny experience while you're trying to get the tune off of your email or whatever. So I sometimes work on movies and TV shows playing the fiddle, right? And there was one where I got called, and it was this show called Copper, which was supposed to be set in the 5 Points of New York in 1860. Kind of like Gangs of New York. Same idea. And me and my friend Stefan were called because there was going to be a boxing match between an Irish guy and a black guy in a barn. And we were supposed to march in behind the Irish guy, playing the bagpipes and the baron, all done up in the old-timey clothes and everything. So the track that they sent us is Highland Pipes and the baron. And so my buddy Stefan from Belfast he's an uilleann piper. He shows up at my place and he stays over, and we go over there the first thing the next morning. And it was a really cool experience. They did us up with cake mix, chocolate cake mix powder. They kind of dusted us to make us look all grimy and greasy and stuff like that. And they gave and these old timey clothes that you get all done up in and stuff. And so then Stefan has got his uilleann pipes out, and he's got them out on his lap, and he's getting them tuned up and blown up, in the old-timey clothes. And this director comes in, and he goes, cool, so those are the Irish bagpipes. And Stefan is like, yes, the uilleann pipes, yep. And he goes, cool, so you guys are going to march in behind the Irish boxer. And Stefan looks at him and says, well, this is the uilleann pipes. It's a seated instrument. You got to put them on your lap. You can't play them standing up. Like, it doesn't work out. And the guy's like, oh, cool. Well, I didn't know that. And then Stefan says, now the track that you sent us is actually Highland pipes. And that you can march with. No problem at all. And I play the Highland pipes, and I have them out in the car. And your man says, yeah. No, we're going to stick with the Irish pipes. So the next thing you know, the wardrobe ladies come and they strap the big yoke of the uilleann pipes onto Stefan's body using old rags and stuff like that. And he's got the bellows in the bag there, the stupidest thing you've ever seen in your life. So when you're watching the show, which I do recommend, you'll see it open up and this Irish guy comes into the barn with the sound of the Highland pipes. And in behind him comes Stefan from Belfast with the uilleann pipe strapped to his body. I swear to God, it's the stupidest thing I ever saw. But yes, they always use uilleann pipes, even for the Scottish stuff. It makes me laugh. Anyway, okay, I'm going to put this up on my screen, and we're going to get into it.
Just lost it.
It's good to laugh, you know. I call them white people. They have no idea. This guy wasn't like he was a Jewish guy, but he still had no idea. Okay. Now, like I said, this is a very popular tune. In this particular version that I've sent you, they have written the second part out completely because this particular tune has a long second ending. Okay? Do you notice how the last line of the second part is different from all the other lines of the second part? Whereas the other lines of the second part are quite similar. D, F, D, E, D, E, F down the scale. They all kind of do that except the last line. Now this tune, like many other tunes, uses the A part as a second ending. Okay, now you'll see what I mean. While you're looking at it there on the screen, I'm going to play it nice and easy, and I want you to see if you can follow along. So you see how that works? It uses the A part as a get out, as the English would call it. Okay, so it can be a little confusing and, like I said, repetitive. So you got to just make sure you know about that. And this little G sharp that you're seeing in the second part, somebody's stupid idea. Okay, don't worry about it. It says it doesn't sound bad. It's just kind of an idea. So I would just play a regular G there, okay? And also, okay, well, let's go through it. So this is very much a groove tune. Here's the first phrase. Okay, and I got an up bow roll there at the last on that F. Let's do that phrase like 4 times. Nice and slow and nice and solid. Don't forget your up-ups. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, go. Let's do it again. Ready, 2, 3, go. Now, is that fitting in there? Everybody understand how to do the up bow roll? So, 2 F's there, and you roll on the second one. On the up bow. Okay? Now, let's get the next part, which is the scaly part. Just a big scale, that's all that is, but we got to get the starting point. So the scale starts on a B. Let's do it. Second 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, go. D. B again. Little jog there. See how that works. Do it again. Same thing. Ready from the B. One more time to be sure. Ready? Go. Okay, everybody got that in there? The little scaly connector. And the ending, it starts the same way, but then scales right up. Now, let's see if we can play as much as we have. So we have the first phrase, we have the second phrase, and you can see that we have the first phrase again, slightly different. So let's see if we can put all that together now. From the top, nice and slow. Ready, go. B. First phrase again. Okay, did that work? For the most part? Good. Now let's get the ending. Like I said, it starts the same as the second phrase. But this time it goes up. Right up, skipping 2. Right up to the top, skipping 2 on the A. And then, so we got... That's the very end. So let's try those 2 bars. Second line, last 2 bars. From the B. Ready, go. Do it again. Ready, go. One more time. Ready, go. And that's the A part. All right. Now, shall we put her all together? Why not? I've got nothing else on this evening. What are you nodding for, Sandy? Are you just checking emails or something? Okay. From the top. No giving up. 1, 2, 3, go. Do it again. Anybody having any problems before we take the grinder to it? Let's do it. 120 grit. 4 times. Ready, go. Again. faster. Okay, that's the A part. Now, you'll be very, very happy to know that if you look very carefully at the B part, it's mostly the A part. So, the first phrase is different. It goes up high. So, this here. But then we just got the same as in the A part. Say it just exactly the same. And then we got it again. See that? And then we got it again. It's just like in the A part. And then we got the A part to finish. That's it. Then you get your check. You're done. Okay? So now, let's get those first 2 bars of the B part, because once we get that, we're going to fly right through it. Put my shoulder rest back on, which when I bought it was guaranteed to not fall off, and it's been falling off. It was great for a while, but now she's falling off. Okay, first 2 bars of the 3rd line. It's the long D, and then, long F and then DF. Ready, go. Okay, let's do it again. Same thing. We got to get used to it. Ready, go. One more time to be sure. Ready, go. Keep going. Keep going. Last again. So everybody see how that works there? It's a tune that's all about groove, man. It's like a reggae tune, you know? Where the bass player plays the same 4 notes over and over, and you can't wait for them to come every time. It's like that. Okay? Now let's try that second part again, now that nobody's having any trouble. 1, 2, 3, go. breather. How are we getting it? Coming along? You see the pattern? Pretty easy to see. And you'll find that your bow will take on a pattern. Repetitive tunes like this, you do it phrase-based bowing. So you take that first phrase, you figure out how to bow it. Every time you come across it, you're going to bow it the same way. When you bow phrases the same way every time, it makes you sound much and feel much stronger. Okay? Because it means that when you hit that rhythmic phrase, it's going to be consistent every time. That's why we leave our fingers down as much as possible too. So, like for instance, how many times do we play D in this tune? The D and the A string. So in the second part. You see how my finger never really strays very far from D there. It's just kind of hanging around, ready to just kind of be there. Okay? And that means that it's the same D every time I go for it. Exactly the same D. Much stronger. Much better. Okay, let's try her one more time. Any questions before we try her one more time? Okay, we're doing it then. Have a little sip of water here. Here we go. Oh, 1, 2, 3, go. Everybody getting that okay? It's a great one for practicing rhythm, that's for sure, because of the repetition. And again, what you're going to concentrate on. What you're going to concentrate on is making all of your eighth notes the same length, all of your quarter notes the same length of bow. And you know, you start with the rule of thumb. The full bow is the quarter note, half of the bow is the eighth note. And you try to do that's what they do in Suzuki from day one. They put the tape on the bow, they put a tape mark in the middle, and they're like, there's your quarter. Well, back when you first start, here's your half note, here's your quarter note for Twinkle Twinkle. See that? And you try to get right from the mark every time. And I find adults usually skip that, but it doesn't take much. It's a little bit of attention when you're an adult can really get you there. Okay? Any questions at all before we sign
Okay,
off?
Dan, just one thing.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm afraid I'm going to have to go. But anyway, let me know when the next class is, okay?
Oh, next Monday at 7.
Monday at 7, same thing?
Yep,
Okay, and it'll be about an hour and a half each time?
yep, that's right.
Okay, good enough. Well, I'll see you then. Everybody take care. See you next week.
See you, David.
Okay.
All right, everybody else good? Okay, we'll see you all next Monday, 7 o'clock.
Great. Thanks, Dan.